Okay. Good morning, dear friends and lovers of freedom. We, Umuchukwu writers, are reaching you live and direct from the office of Sir Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. This morning we got very urgently that one of the cases of our leader will be heard at the Federal High Court before Justice Ekwo. And before our crew could make all the necessary arrangement to get to the place, the case was already heard and briefly. So we are live with our barrister in his office, and we want to hear from him to give us a briefing of the case and how it went and what Biafrans should be expecting this morning. Good morning, Barrister.
Thank you so much, my brother.
This morning, please, we don't have all the necessary gadgets for volume. Please, I beg you, Biafrans and lovers of freedom, to do bear with us. We're going to manage our natural voices so that we can give you all the best. Please, do bear with the barrister. He will stretch his voice, and we're begging him as well to do his best on this, because we don't have all our gadgets. It came very urgent this morning. Thank you very much, Barrister. You can continue.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. May I first of all apologize for not informing you of the proceedings of this morning in good time. You in person, because you recall that last week you kind of clarified on the announcement made by some persons over the social media about Saturn declared on Tuesday. That was this week Tuesday. So, and in the course of doing so, we made it known to the public that Mazen Namdekano Oyendo, his mother is coming up this week. We have two of his mothers coming up this week. One on extraordinary rendition, and one challenging the constitutionality otherwise of new practice, criminal practice direction on the Federal High Court on terrorism matters. So we have suit to file in respect thereto. So, and two of them were adjourned today for further mention. So it came up that was on June this year, and constable adjourned today for further mention. So we made it known to the public that it's coming up this week. We are not specific as to the date. In view of some issues we are trying to manage around our areas, so around our zone. So because of the fact that once someone hears about Oyendu's case coming up, without confirming whether we'll be in court or not, so people will start we take advantage of that pronouncement to be causing problem in our zone. So we are trying to manage such situation. As soon as we are done managing it, we'll start announcing in good time. But once Oyendu is coming to court, or there's a matter of interest, there's a serious matter involving, like when the will be delivered in court of appeal on his case, then in that case, you will hear to announce through the approved channels as to the dates given to us by court of appeal or when we're going back to the court. So by other segments of his cases we have in Federal High Court and other places, we should find a way of managing it and possibly letting those supposed to know, and also getting across to Umuchineke in due time as to when to come up. So thank you so much. However, this matter came up this morning. The one we filed against the federal government of Nigeria, the AG Federation, on his kidnapping and extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. So that's the matter, is actually the main case dealing with the constitutionality, the interpretation of the relevant laws, international laws on extraordinary rendition, particularly section 15 of Extradition Act LFN 204 of Nigeria. So we're inviting the court to interpret this section of the law. So, and also Article 12.4 of African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and other relevant international laws which Nigeria are in breach of, in the manner in which they abducted Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi and brought into Nigeria to fair trial. So these laws are uniform, are united in opinion that once the authority of the Nigerian government is in breach of these laws, that Nnamdi Kanu can no longer be detained, talk less of being tried in a law. So we are now inviting the court through what we filed in court within summons to interpret this relevant section of the laws and also make pronouncements thereto. If the court found that this law, the federal government of Nigeria is in breach of these laws, then the court will declare the detention and the subsequent trial illegal and restore him back to where they brought him from. And they can't shy away from it because it's an international mandate. It's a mandate. It's mandatory on the part of the government that they must respect this law they entered into. They are part of this. They're to these laws. So this is the first case that came up today for further mention, and the courts and the processes filed out of time were regularized by the parties. So and matter adjourned to December 4th. The court actually wanted to hear the matter. They said no. I have to appeal to the court to understand the sensitive nature of the case. And my lord subsequently adjourned the matter to December 14th for hearing on the merit. And as we understand, the schedule is tight. I understand they had a lot of cases on his hand, but I said no. This is part of the serious cases you must consider. His lordship will consider because of its effect on other matters, sister cases in court. So, and his lordship obliged us and they adjourned the matter to December 14th. So, however, it's pertinent also to make it known to the public at this point in time, and also to Mushineke, that it's in this case, that the federal government, for the first time, admitted before the court, apart from their open admission made in the Court of Appeal at last adjourned date. So, admitted before the Court of Appeal, before this court, in what they filed, in the accountability to the main suit, that they kidnapped Mazoye Kanu in Kenya, and also subjected him to detain him in a facility, security facility. That was they said. So, and consequently brought him here. So it was contained in their counter affidavit on oath. So it's no longer in dispute because of why we are in court. They have by their own very admission accepted violating international laws, extant international laws, that required Mazoye to be subjected to extradition proceedings if at all he has committed any offense of law. In Kenya, therefore, following the due process has laid down under Article 1214 and 1214 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and also and section 15(1) of the Extradition Act E25 Law LFN 204, and also the rules of the provides to that section, which borders on rules of specialty, that those conditions must be fulfilled. That condition means he must be subjected to extradition proceedings laid down by the law before he will be rendered to Nigeria. So that they are all in breach of these laws. So, and they accepted in their process before the court, trying to justify his abduction, that it was illegal, the manner he was abducted. So in their efforts to justify the fact they arrested, they call it arrest in what they filed in court, and extraordinary addition to Nigeria, they accepted in black and white that he was arrested in Kenya, was abducted in Kenya. So, and that settles the case. So it's now adjourned to 14th of December for full hearing. So, and I will believe that justice and nothing more than justice will happen in this case, and we are holding tenaciously to the fact that we'll get justice at the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. And once more, Biafrans will also want to know. We are still expecting the ruling on the appeal of last month. So we've not heard any briefing on that. Do you have anything to say to Biafrans?
Of course, you know, sometimes in the past I made mention of and then things about the procedure of Court of Appeal. And just like what happened in Benin a few days ago, I was in Benin on Tuesday and Wednesday, Court of Appeal Benin to do some matters. And all the briefs were all adopted and adjourned for judgment. So once a matter is adopted, briefs are adopted in Court of Appeal and adjourned, judgment are usually reserved. These are not being given. But what transpired in open court is clear that this judgment will be delivered soon. I have this feeling that this judgment will be delivered on or before the end of this month, because of certain questions and clarifications we made in open court. Court was trying to access the position of the matter before the High Court, before the lower court, and we told him. And also, and they assured us in open court that we may not expect this month judgment to last longer, and we'll deliver it as quick as possible. So I have this feeling and belief that we don't deliver this, all important judgment will deliver this. And the most important thing is that justice can only be delayed and not denied. So, and it is sacrosanct that justice must be done in this case. We don't expect anything less than that. So, and in the fullness of time, possibly within the month, we'll hear it out from the horse's mouth, and it will happen. So, because we have done our own part and believe in God, that God will crown our efforts with success. And all you do will gain his freedom, not only gain freedom, you come out victorious and you'll be freed.
Okay. Barrister, thank you very much. Just a day ago, we received the good news of one of our brothers, Michael, who was held at the, I think, Umuahia prisons, and we received the news of his freedom. We don't know how it happened, but we are believing that all of our brothers and sisters who are at the different detention centers and cells and prisons will be released. We want to hear from you, you know, what Biafran should be expecting, because most of them have been expecting their relatives, friends, families, and all that, without hope and all that. We want to know how the legal team are working hard to ensure that all Biafrans who are held in different prisons and cells, including our leader, will be released in no distant time.
Thank you so much. You know, just like what I told you before we started this interview about effort we're making. We usually say much over the media before now. And when we discovered about so many people who are, I don't know, if in your own terminology you call them infiltrators, so, and the mischief and nuisance they are causing. So we decided to be very circumspect with things we say to the public and believe in action than words, and which has been working out for us. So Mike Obai is one of the cases that I will never forget in a haste. Let me just give you this background. When Mike was arrested, it was brought our attention, and we immediately followed up and filed an application for. We initially thought he was brought to Abuja here. So, an information we got from the relevant people who were detained and released was that Mike Obai was detained here. Now, unknown to us, that the person that was detained here was then Mike Kano. So we now went to court to file application for the release. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. So, and we proceeded in court and won the case in court. The court also made awarded compensatory damages against them, SSS, for detention of arrest and detention of Mike Kano. And Mike Kano was eventually released. Only for me to on a further inquiry, and I discovered that the person with it, when the person came out, and I discovered that this person is not Mike Obai. We then went back to Iowa State after assessing some information. So we went back to Iowa State to commence an application for his release. And thankfully, yesterday I ended in prison, as I always say. So court found his arrest illegal, detention and further detention unlawful. Declared and directed the police to release him without any form of condition immediately, forthwith. Proceeded to award the damages of 60 million damages against the police, and also cost of action 200,000. Now, having said that, we also following up. Let me tell you something. We are doing much behind the scene. We are doing much for people that are in detention, people that have been arrested behind the scene, and all the cases we are finding in court following up. We don't usually like making them public, because most times we have come to realize that people, even some of us, some people who call our colleagues, are working against our interests, even in some of these cases. So, and not talk less of those who consider themselves as part of Homo Shinik. That's why most times when you see me write, I qualify them as Homo Shinik. I have a reason for saying that. So they are all there working against in terms of cases are handling court. So either by their pronouncement or by their write-ups. So we now devise a way of managing it, because in our Igbo proverb say that honorable why mutankwe ezi mutankwe nwunye amụta no here na nwoke pụọ n'ụzọ na-agwa ndị mmadụ bịa come to my house na everything is okay. Nwaanyị anọ na gate na-agwa ha the man arọkwa ya n'ọpụgo. So nwoke nọzọ n'ụlọ chekidezi onye na-abata n'ọfụ ndị bịa na sọ gị na ama nwunye nọ na gate na-discharge ndị mmadụ ha na-abaga na nọchọrọ ka ọfụ anabịa. So this is our strategy we're adopting. So, and be assured that everybody being detained illegally by the police, SSS, or military must do this. We came back from Niger State yesterday. It's important for me to say this to the public and not too much. The very, very serious development we are working also taking up. People that came from Ebonyi State, because let them also, I hope they will listen to this interview. They've been calling me, sending me texts, and I'm not good at responding to messages either on my WhatsApp or text for reasons best known to me. So now, let me tell them, those that were arrested on their way going back after the first appearance of Amazonian in prison in Federal High Court, they were arrested somewhere in Lokoja and brought to the SSS. From SSS, an action was filed in Federal High Court by a colleague of mine, and they transferred them to Niger State, where they usually detain people. We now follow them up to the Niger State. We have filed application for the release in Niger State, all of them, including the Dara too. So we filed application for the release and also for call to declare their detention and arrest illegal. Do you know? And we force the military to file a response, because from actions we are taking, person will file. Usually when you file, they will ignore you because they believe they are above the law. So this time around, they file response to those applications. It's coming off sometime. It's coming out this month for hearing on the application. So, and what's an interesting part of it is that the military, in their counter affidavit to our application, they stated on oath that those being referred to them to detain there are coming from executive order. You know what it means? Are being referred to them on executive order. So apparently they are not those being detained at that barracks, that Niger State, are being detained at the leisure of the executive or the president and others. So that's the meaning of it. So now we have responded to that application for them to tell us whether that president, whoever has given that order, is above the law. If you're no longer running a constitutional democracy, they should come to court and tell the court. So we are not resting our oaths to ensure that everybody unlawfully arrested and illegally detained are freed. We're not less resting at all. I can assure you my lawyers are all over the place. So that's why we are managing information, managing strategies, managing things to say to the public. But we are most passionately appealing to Mushineke to bear with us. We are limited in our things to stay for reasons, for their own interest too, and for the interest of everybody. So I will believe that in the end, it shall surely end in praises. God Almighty is always on the throne and shall always be there for us. And thank you so much, my brother, for coming. And may God bless you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. We want to appreciate you and also encourage you. We continue to pray for you and your colleagues who are giving yourself sleepless nights and taking your time to do this very job. We know it is not easy to represent IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu. We know the intimidations, we know the harassments that are attached to it. But despite all this, you have remained firm and very formidable, doing your job as a lawyer, a refined lawyer at that. It's not easy. We want to continue to encourage you. We want to continue to support you in any way we can like this. You are a very good lawyer. The world knows about it. Everybody talks about it. We want to appreciate you as well because you are doing a good job. Your records are there in the open for anyone to access.
Thank you.
And all those who are also assisting you in achieving all these records and results. We want to also let you know that the more results you get, the more challenges and the more bigger it becomes to you. You don't have to get tired or get frustrated because those who are against you are not happy that you're getting the good results. Just as you're saying it, the more of those who are in us, who are infiltrating our ranks, pretending to be among us, thank God that they are being busted every day, and we are not getting tired of them. We are reaching you here. This is Umuchukwu Writers, reaching you live from the office of our amiable barrister, the formidable barrister Sir Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the counsel of our IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is our lead counsel. We want to thank you, our barrister, for giving us this very time and explanations you have given to us. We'll be leaving you, Biafrans, from here. Whenever we have any other information, we will do our best to give you the information without wasting our time.
Thank you so much.
We'll be coming to you next time when there is need for it. This is Agochachuwando reporting live for Umuchukwu Writers in Abuja. Thank you very much.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Muchineke, too.